So I promised a revisit of the topic of medical billing fraud here on the Fraud Fact Friday series, and now I'm happy to meet Mike and Tami in person to discuss the issue of medical billing fraud. And last time, thank you for coming, by the way, all the way from Portland, Oregon, I guess, and now we're here in Aachen, Germany.
Yes,
Right.
nice to be here.
Yeah,
It's very nice to be here.
thanks for coming. And last time we addressed the topic of unbundling, using the epidural steroid injection as an example. When insurance companies and we as individuals receive our medical bills, they could be complex, we might not know what we're looking at. What are some things, what would be another example of something we should be looking out for?
Well, one thing that's really prevalent now in the U.S. are unnecessary drug tests.
Okay.
And there are so many unnecessary drug tests going on, but what is going on in the U.S. is we have an opiate crisis, and I think everyone's heard about it. And so what we're trying to do is look at making sure that you're not paying for unnecessary tests.
Okay. So excessive testing, how are they detected? How can we say, okay, that was excessive? How do you even know?
Well, it's really kind of easy to detect because in a given case where someone is being prescribed pain relievers, there is a need to have a drug screen now and then to see whether or not, first of all, they're taking the drugs that they were prescribed, but also that they're not taking some illicit substances that could perhaps interfere with the drugs that they've been prescribed. So that's the important driving reason for valid drug tests. But that should be 2 or 3 or 4 tests.
Okay.
And what we find is in many of these cases, 20 to 30 to 60 to sometimes even 80 definitive drug tests, very expensive definitive drug tests, are being billed for and in many cases also performed. There is no justification in any under any medical standard for anything more than 3 or 4 of these definitive drug tests.
Okay. So if I get a bill and I'm suspicious of a charge, what action do you recommend taking then?
Well, the first thing is to understand whether you're suspicious of it. If you have more than 4 or 5 charges that start with the numbers 803, then those are definitive tests. And if there's more than a handful of those, it's most definitely medical billing fraud. And if it's your personal bill, you should contact your doctor and let him know what you have seen on either your bill or your explanation of benefits. If you're a claims adjuster working in an insurance company, you should work with your corporate attorneys to get a denial letter put together under state law in order to deny those charges because they're most definitely not valid.
Okay. How frequent does this occur? How often do we see this pattern?
And we see it daily. I mean,
Okay.
we have reviewed so many files. It is just crazy. We've reviewed thousands and thousands. And of those thousands and thousands of files that we've actually reviewed, probably less than 10 of them are actually where the
Legitimate.
drug testing has been justified.
Okay. Well, that wraps up this episode. I know you guys have a lot more to tell everyone about medical billing fraud, what to keep an eye out for, and I'm sure, once again, that we will be revisiting the topic. Thanks again for your time.
We'll see you next time, David.
Yeah,
Thank you, David.